नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
Welcome all. Good morning to everyone. At least a few people from India. It is evening time. Swami, shall we start?
Yes.
The first question comes in a wake of a recent event. You might have read in the newspapers for since last few months here in US, and of course North America, I would say. A discrimination and brutal killing by police people, from the black people, and it's a uproar is coming, violence and protest, burning down the cities. It has been happening since last 2-3 days here. So it provokes a thought, like, what make people to identify themselves as group? Say, for example, I would take 1 more minute to elaborate the question. If I go to a gathering with a mix of people, when I see a skin of my color, brown color, I would like to prefer to go to that person and speak. And when I hear my mother tongue is spoken in a group, I would go there. And, something is driving me to associate with some identification of myself, like say my skin color, my language, or my dressing style, or something. What are those things makes people to create subgroups in the ocean of the whole humanity? And why people are associating in the small group? What is the driving force behind it in terms of spirituality? And if they are doing it, is that correct? Do we need to overcome that? Is it, I would say, is an animal instinct or a human instinct? Would you please elaborate what is our spirituality's viewpoint in that?
See, it is the way ignorance is working. Only because of ignorance, we are identifying ourselves with objects and superimposing ourselves or many things on our own self. So because of this superimposition and false identification, the whole problem of samsara comes. This is the point where the study of Vedanta or the relevance of the teaching of Vedanta is becoming more and more important. The question is, with what you are identifying yourself with? We are identifying ourselves with the body, even though we do know I am not the body. Even a small kid, he or she knows I am not the body. Body is mine, not I. In the same way, senses, organs of action, mind, intellect, all these agents, I am not that. These are mine. My mind, my intellect, my eye, my ear, my nose. Even a small kid knows that. But even after knowing that, almost all the people in this world are identifying themselves with these objects which are seen by them. I am seeing this. So the seer cannot be they see it. Logically, I know. But at the same time, I am identifying myself with the objects which are seen. This is ignorance. This is the play of ignorance. And because of this ignorance, all sorts of false identifications, they come. Once we are identifying ourselves with the body, then we will again identify with so many specialities. There comes color, there comes gender, there come so many things. But all these are divisive. They're dividing. So, in the midst of all these divisions, all divisive forces, are the effects of ignorance, which is responsible for all sorts of divisions, racism, casteism, interreligious fights, gender discrimination, all this. Vedanta is showing, is teaching the essential unity of all these manifestations. Vedanta is teaching the unity in the midst of all diversities. And that unity is not something connected with money, wealth, nationality, gender, nothing. It is the essential unity of the being. I am saying I am, and you are saying you I am. Sun is there, moon is there, earth is here. So all these are existing. So what is giving existence to all these manifestations? By which I am here. From Brahma
speaking.
to even a microbe. What is making them exist? That existence absolute, without any division, that is my essential nature. That is your nature. That is the reality of all, or reality behind. We can take in both ways. Reality of or reality behind all existences, all manifestations. Abhibhaktam vibhakteshu. That is the real knowledge. Vedanta is teaching that. That is why Vedanta is most universal. When you go to dogmas, when you go to rituals, when you go to myths, when you go to such other factors of the so-called religions, there is no something like a unifying force. All these are divisive because your ritual is different from my ritual. The dogmas which you are nourishing, it is entirely different from my dogmas. In the same way, actions, all sorts of activities, philosophies, all these are different. Whereas Vedanta is showing the essential unity And it is the essential need of the time, of the present day, to teach this Vedanta to the world. Because it is showing the essential unity of all manifestations. So teach that. Where that knowledge is not there, we will be identifying ourselves with the objects which are seen. And when such identification comes, then a group will naturally be formed. Those who have similar identifications will come together as a group. And of course, group has its own psyche. So a group psyche will develop. So when there is one group psyche, it won't admit another group. So religious fanaticism is there. Fight on the basis of color, creed, sex, nationalism. So many things are. All these are products of false identification. And this sort of racism is there in the world. It was there, still in the mindset of ignorant people. Even if you are banning with the help of rules and regulations, if it is in the subconscious, when time comes, it will sprout. It will come out. That is what is happening. So what we want is, of course, regulation is required. Rules and enactments are required. But what we need is a total change in the vision, in the outlook. We must have that ability to see the unity in the midst of all diversities. And that unity is the self. Go to that self. If that knowledge is not there, even after years and years, or decades, or centuries of external regulations, as long as these differences are there in the subconscious of the society, not of individual alone, it will work. That is what we are seeing now. Racism was there in all its might, in the worst form, in America, in Europe, and of course in Arabia, in Australia, almost all continents. The so-called cultured, and that too on the basis of the color of the skin. They used to buy human beings, chaining human beings, shipping us some goods or cattle, and trading them. And we saw that racism in the worst form. But such racism on the basis of color of the skin. It was not there in Bharat. But still, some sorts of slavery, it was there. There is no doubt. So it was prevalent in almost all parts of the world. And when we as a society thought ourselves to be developed, we made so many rules and regulations banning racism. But it was within the innermost corner of social psyche. It was because you banned through laws, through regulations, through rules, which were implemented by force or from outside. So it is not the way. Of course, it is the way, but it is not full. It is not enough. We have to go far more deeper. And that is knowing or realizing the essential unity of all beings that Vedanta alone teaches you. So what we have to think again and again is the need for spreading the ideals of Vedanta, essential unity of all beings. Otherwise, see, this is not the case with racism. This is not the case with gender discrimination. This is not the case with any special type of discrimination. But the real change must come from within. The real change must come from within. And that change will happen only through knowledge, real knowledge. So we can work together. It is our responsibility, it is our duty. It is a great task given by the rishis that we must spread the tenets of Vedanta. World is in need of that. And the other things, let the government tackle. Let government tackle that. There are different types of rules and regulations in different countries. Let them work on that. But the darshana of Bharata, showing the essential unity of all beings, that we must spread everywhere as much as we can. I'm not going to the other aspects. The social aspects is legal aspects. So many aspects are there. We can view this problem from different angles. So as you asked, from our Shastra perspective, this is the answer. So realize that essential unity within, then you will be above this differentiation and discrimination. And as many people are imbibing the real spirit of Vedanta, they will be above all these differences. No more masculinism, no more feminism, no more differences on the basis of any color, creed, gender, language, nothing. From Brahma to the micro, the existence is one and the same. And that reality we have to realize. When we are one, there is no difference. That is the answer from the Vedanta perspective.
Lightning. Couple of points he told was really striking to the mind. But I would like to move to the next question. Surendranji.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste.
I know you are the president of Sannyasi Margadarshana Mandal. Do you think religious conversion can stop by any ordinance or a legislation by parliament or government?
I am not the president of Margadarshak Mandal as a whole. I am the president of the present president of Margadarshak Mandal, Kerala unit.
Okay, thank you, Swami.
Margadarshak Mandal, it is an all India organization. And in all states, there are state units. And of course, in all states, there are presidents. And our activity, that is Kerala unit of Margadarshak Mandal, is functioning very well. All ashrams, all sannyasis are working together. Not all, almost all. And we are meeting at regular intervals and doing many things. So there is a unity amongst the sannyasis of Kerala, and Margadarshak Mandal is working for that. So coming to your question, religious conversion, it is a big menace, or it is a big question mark before the existence of or in front of the existence of culture or dharma. But we cannot ban religious conversion as a whole. But we can do, the government can ban through proper enactment, regulations, conversion on the basis of ignorance and poverty. That is, making use of ignorance and poverty. So many conversions are happening. That is not acceptable. If a person is studying the teachings of other religions, and after a proper study and analysis, if he is believing that it is great and consider it better to accept that religion, he must have freedom to accept that religion. That is my view. So there must be freedom to choose the religion. People must have that freedom. But this freedom must not be abused or misused. So making use of the ignorance of common people or the poverty in the society if religions are converting, it is not acceptable. And government must bring in proper and powerful regulations for that. And let me add one more thing to this. In our society, that is amongst the followers of Sanatana Dharma, lack of dharmic knowledge is there. There is a widespread ignorance. In our country, the followers of organized religions, they are studying their tenets. For example, from the age of 3 years or 3.5 years, Muslim children, invariably they will go to madrasas and they will study. And up to 18 or 19 years age, they will be studying. In the same way, Christian children from the age of 4 or 5, they will start studying. And up to 19 or 20 years, they are studying. So when they are getting adolescence, or then when they are getting mature, a clear-cut knowledge about their religion, belief, everything will be there. Whereas the so-called Hindus, they are not getting. Nobody to be criticized. It is our own fault. It is our own fault. But in the society, this is a fact. It is there in the society. This disparity is there. So we have to teach our children what dharma is, the greatness of dharma. And of course, by the age of 16 or 17 or 18, that is when they are becoming youth, they must know about comparative religion. They must learn Quran, they must learn Bible. Not to criticize, but to know. But before going to such studies, one must have a clear knowledge of Vedic Shastras. If the knowledge is there, no abuse will happen. This is the urgent need of the day. So we must make arrangements for that. That government cannot do, or we cannot expect it from government. It is our duty. It is our responsibility. So this responsibility, our society must take into shoulder and work on that. So many institutions are there. I do not know from where you are asking. If you are asking from America, so many classes are going on there. The Hindu Kerala Society, they are organizing this session They're organizing classes for children, Chinmaya Mission, the very scientific syllabus they are working, and so many other ashrams, so many institutions, so many teachers are working hard to spread our shastras. We must cooperate with them. We must spread this message. We must ask our children, our families to send their children. And everywhere in this world, we have to spread the teaching of Sanatana Dharma. That is one side. And on the other side, the government must ban religious conversion, making use of ignorance and poverty. And you cannot ban religious conversion as a whole, as it is, because if somebody is studying and realizing the greatness of another religion, and he or she is from innermost self, is for accepting or going to that religion, there is nothing wrong in that. That is my view on this question. Namaste.
Swami, what about poverty? You have the same question. Poverty is the main criteria they are using in India. Governments introduced a lot of projects on the basis of religion. The religious minority is getting a lot of benefits. That will encourage conversion. That is my concern.
Yes, that is what is happening here. In India, what is nowadays happening is everything is based on religion. That is, we are making human beings in two groups, one majority and the other minority. There is no meaning at all. This must go. And based on what this majority and minority differentiation is changed? Based on religion. Based on religion. There are two types of minority concept in our constitution. One is religious minority, the other is linguistic minority. This is the case with the constitution. Of course, measures to safeguard minority groups, that is good. But nowadays, in the name of this differentiation, what we are seeing is formation of vote banks. And because of vote banks, again and again, political parties are appeasing. And because of this social appeasement, reverse discrimination is happening. And Hindus in India are facing reverse discrimination. This must be stopped. Religion is a personal affair. Religion is a matter of belief. Religion is a way of quest. So it is a personal matter. You can believe, you can practice, but government must not take the society or view the society on the basis of this religious consideration. And after all, now the world is like a global village. Now we are seeing, we are hearing, we are talking, and many are sitting in America, some are in Canada, a few are in India, and now we are conversing as if we are sitting in a room. That is because of technology. And we can transfer money, wealth, information, everything within seconds. So this world is like a global village. When we take the condition like that, who is majority, who is minority? There is no meaning in that. You can transfer money, you can exchange ideas and informations, and still you are saying we are minority or we are majority. We must stop this foolishness. And the broad vision, accepting everybody, assimilating everybody as one's own self, and the social practice based on that vision was there in the Bharat from time immemorial. It was there. That is why Bharat accepted all people who came as refugees from different countries. And Bharat accepted everybody as her own children. That love is there, the love was there. And accepted as her own children. No differentiation was there. In that Bharat, after we got independence from British rulers, and after 29 years, that is in 1976, when there was no constitutionally valid parliament, when almost all leaders of opposition parties were prisoned or under home arrest, when there was no freedom in the society to publish news reports, it was then in the period of emergency, the government added two words into our constitution, that is socialist secular. The word secular was added to our constitution then in 1976 when Indira Gandhi was the prime minister. It was the period of emergency. And in a secular country, what we are saying now, government is taking over all temples. When more and more Even essential services are being privatized. What we are seeing is nationalization of temples and mishandling or misusing of or abusing of temple properties. It is on one side, and on the other side, Hindus are facing reverse discrimination. When it is the matter of education, when it is the matter of employment, when it is the matter of dealings with financial institutions, when it is the matter of training and social development, what matters is to which religion you belong. And we are saying we are a secular country. So that nonsense is happening. We have to awake and realize the realities. There must be no change, no differences between Hindu, Christian, Muslim. All we are brothers. We are one family. We are one. And those who are in need of a social support, let he be a Hindu, let he be an Islam, or let he be a Christian or a Sikh, a support must be given to him. Social support, financial support, educational support. That is required. But religion must not be the criteria for that. But it is happening here. So this is the cause for not only the cause for it is the ground reality. It is the factual state of reverse discrimination, and it is a sort of suppression. There is no doubt in that. And you know, there are so many enactments which are for religious conversion. There is one government corporation in Kerala, government corporation for in Kerala for Christians who are converted from scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. Actually, the Constitution of India has enumerated some caste under scheduled caste and scheduled tribes to protect them, considering the inequality they have faced and the pitiable position they are having, to raise them above, to bring them up. Actually, that was the reason for enumerating them under scheduled tribes and scheduled castes, to protect them, to protect their individuality, to protect their legacy, to protect their culture, to protect them. But now this corporation is working to protect those Christians who are converted from scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. Such a corporation is there. So this must go. So government is promoting conversions, and we must have that courage to speak and act. That conversion is a crime when it is based on poverty and ignorance. It's a very, very big topic. We have to elaborate more and more. But I think this is enough for a question when it is coming from such a platform. I think this is enough. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. Pipaji next. Pipaji.
Namaste, Swamiji. How are you? Namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. So I do have a question. I would like to hear Swamiji's thoughts on the present day spiritual gurus who right now have huge international following. They're also very popular. They have many devotees and even disciples. And those devotees and disciples even regard them as avatars. So for me, I understand, I can respect and revere these gurus because they do so much good to this world. They have a very good influence, and they're good examples of doing such good. But it takes some time to convincing that, like I can't convince myself to worship them as an avatar is probably a different story because they're still in a human body. So I would like to hear Swamiji's thoughts and his reflections on that. Thank you.
So many acharyas are working to spread the Sanatana Dharma. So many teachers are there. So many preachers are there. And there are many teachers in almost all religions. The question is about considering teachers or acharyas as avatars. What is an avatar? Who is an avatar? In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan clearly says, Yadyad vibhudimat sattvam srimad urjidam evava tattadevava gachatvam mama tejomcha sambhav. O Arjuna, wherever you are seeing greatness, there you realize my presence is more manifested, or my essential nature is more manifested. So there are many fields, not only the field of acharyas who are working to spread the teachings of dharma, no, but there are many fields where we can see this greatness. So wherever we are seeing that greatness, we can realize more powerful manifestation the bhava of Ishvara. Where there is activity to protect dharma, that is dharma samsthapanarthaya. Where you are seeing that, consider it is a divine work. That we can consider. But at the same time, considering acharyas as avatar, that is somebody descended. If you are considering so, I am not with you. Because always I like the philosophy of ascending, not descending. Because if you are saying seeing some teacher, he descended, it won't help you. In that case, you will purchase a lamp, some camphor, some incense stick, and you will start worshipping him or her, saying this is avatar. He or she descended from the highest plane to protect the dharma. I am not with you. Instead, I will say, from the level of a common man, through his sadhana, through his studies, through his austerities, through his inquiries, he ascended to that place. Then you have work. Then you have work. You have to study, you have to do sadhana, you have to work, you have to do seva, because to ascend, all these are essential. And I am considering all avatars are ascended people, not descended. I think you follow.
Yes, it was perfectly answered. I agree with Swamiji, and I want to add, if there is, I think if the focus is more on the teacher than the teaching, then there is a problem. So I agree with that.
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste.
Babuji, next question. Babu.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste. Now I cannot say how long we can talk, because here it is too much lightning and thunder.
Okay, I can defer it to
Lightning
the.
is so much here, and this place is prone to lightning attacks. So it's too much.
Okay,
Here.
Swamiji, we can have it next time.
Yes, I think it is better to close this now, and we can continue next week.
Sure.
Namaste. Namaste.
It is only 5 more minutes remaining. We can, however, we can close it. Swami, with the prayer, we can close. Swamiji has gone, so let us have a prayer together. Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Om
Om Shanti.